Okay, so I need to get this off my chest. Wow, the acoustics are bad in this room. Anyway, so Donald Trump won New York. Yeah, he got a lot of delegates, and Kasich only got 4 from last time I checked. And Trump is pretty much running away with things in the Republican primary. And on the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton is running away with things as well. But I don't want to see the US go down this road. We're letting radicals take over our country. And as much as this pains me to say this, it seems like the polarization of America will change pretty much. Not. How do I say this? Okay. The polarization of America will change the fabric and principles that America was founded on that made it so successful today. The religious right and the social justice left are pretty much hijacking America and to fit their own personal philosophies. And as they try doing that, the centralists like myself have nowhere to go. Because my choice, it looks like in November, the election looks like it's going to be Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. They're both so bad. Like, how did this happen? America, how did this happen? But, honestly, for people who are voting in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Delaware, and who are centralists like myself, I want you to think, is Donald Trump the person that he says he is? Of course he's a populist, and that's his appeal. And I know that is his appeal. So, with that being said, everyone wants Donald Trump to become president. Well, to president in order to represent themselves. Because there are the people they think Washington, D.C. is being hijacked by these fanatics. Well, not fanatics. Washington, D.C. is being hijacked for the big corporations, the paramount of everything that's being done in the U.S. So, the lower class people don't think that their vote has a point in government anymore, and they think Donald Trump is an outlet for that. And for me, I don't think he will be an outlet for that, because if he gets control of the presidency, I don't think anyone in Congress will want to work with him, because his ideas are so far out. So, say for example, the case for immigration of the Muslim population. How is that going to be done? He says we're going to ban all Muslims until we have a process of vetting them. But how do you vet something you don't... How do you vet something that is via person-to-person basis? It could change for some people, like myself. I used to be a Muslim. Well, my mother was Muslim, and tried to indoctrinate that into me. But one day, I looked at the world as it was, and now I'm an atheist, a strong atheist in that. So, for people like me, Donald Trump says he's barring all Muslim immigration. How does he know people could lie? People could change their faith, because that's actually starting to become a common practice nowadays. So, it's impractical for this to happen. And as I said, impracticability, well, that's not really what I've said before, but impracticability has no place in government. We need solutions that work. We need actual reform that will change the face of the nation. That's why I think Bernie Sanders is getting so much popularity, because of his antitrust laws. Reminds us of Theodore Roosevelt, and Theodore Roosevelt's antitrust laws were very successful at the end of the Gilded Age. It allowed pretty much the people to gain control again, and the corporations to say, okay, but we can't abuse people like we've been doing. So that's where Bernie Sanders' popularity is coming from. But yet again, he's another fanatic, another radical. We don't need another radical in, because Donald Trump's a radical. Trump and Ted Cruz are radicals on the right hand side, whereas Bernie Sanders is a radical via the left hand side. So with socialism, yes, a lot of people think socialism is great and all. And yes, it does have its benefits. Better schools, better healthcare, better, more safety in more safety for the poor. But as we see in 2008, especially in Greece and Ireland, where once the economy goes, all the social programs pretty much took a massive dip as well. These social programs have fallen very fast. These social programs have actually been destroyed. For the most part, they've not actually been destroyed, but they've been, like, their funding is decreased rapidly. They expect people to work for longer, which in Greece, that really isn't the culture. More Greek people take vacation days and retire early, as Greek lifestyle allows them to do that. But with 2008 and the stock market collapse, it caused Greece to kind of change their philosophy of things. And so socialism, say another big stock market collapse happens, and we do end up with Bernie Sanders as president, and he does improve all the social reform. And what will happen to the programs? What? Because if we're in a massive economic crisis, the programs will take a toll. For, let's see, the programs will start losing funding because the government needs to pay off. The government needs to save money to help rebuild the economy from absolute shit as it was. So that's why the biggest argument against socialism is the possibility of failure. Also, with prisons, for people complaining that the U.S. prison system is completely unjust, I agree with that. It's too militarized. It's also privately owned, which is a problem, and incarceration rates have gone up, which is not good for the U.S. as well. But say prisons start losing massive amounts of funding when the stock markets collapse, and we do socialize the prison system, do you think that the some crimes will be let off the hook for, say, we don't have space to store this person, we don't have enough money to keep him in the prison cell? Of course, because money in a low stock market, lower economy, yeah, people try investing in other things, and prisons might drop down the barrel hole, if you would put it like that. So yeah, that covers Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. I know these arguments are pretty weak. I could have pulled up a bunch more sources for this, but honestly, I'm hiding from my social justice friends, and I'm just seeing this. I wish I could get more data. If I do become a more successful YouTuber, I don't think that's gonna happen because I'm just a kid rambling in this cube. So anyway, enough about that. So the case against Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders. Now, Ted Cruz. He is another religious radical. Okay, Donald Trump is a religious radical in that sense, but that's not his campaign. His campaign is about populism, and populism is his go-to form. Ted Cruz's go-to form is the Holy Bible. Yeah. Okay. So, with Ted Cruz being all his godly self, he says that pretty much one of the biggest complaints I have about Ted Cruz is the against gay marriage rights that he proclaims. So he wants to repeal the Supreme Court decision that allows gay marriages to be legal in the United States, which is complete horseshit. Because people should have the right to get married, religion should have no place in government. I'm fine with people practicing their faith when they want to at home, but they cannot and should not put that faith on other people. That is some big bullshit that's provided by Ted Cruz. Also, another complaint, he said Ted Cruz always claims that he's going to patrol Muslim neighborhoods. How about, say, Muslims who weren't, there's always, in the U.S., there's a lot of communities that are not homogeneous. Saying, in the area I live, my mother's a Muslim, my dad isn't. There's a couple other Muslims around my area, but the majority of my area is black, white, Hispanic. Are those Muslims going to be patrolled? Or all neighborhoods going to be patrolled because there's a possibility of Muslims being there? It's absurd. And I think that we need intelligence from the Arab community. For people who go to mosques, we should shut down the ridiculously religious mosques that are operating in the U.S. and in England. Oh my god. In England, they have some of the worst mosques that preaches religious hatred by any stretch that I know of. So, also Ted Cruz has a bunch of iffy policy decisions as well. He expects the U.S. to go out pretty much. He expects people to have been accustomed to living pretty much secularly to be forced by his religious morals that he tries to push on people, like abortion. Say a woman should have the right to have an abortion if it does endanger her safety, and she's not doing it just to kill the child, and there's other reasons for it. Ted Cruz is like, no, abortions will be illegal as his biggest motto because he thinks it's unholy, unbiblical, which is absolutely absurd. Women should get the right to do what that makes them healthy with their bodies, but yet again, abortion's an iffy issue as well. So I also think that the child, for male circumcision, my argument is that the child cannot consent to have its dick cut off, so it should also carry off into the abortion camp. The child did not give consent to be killed. It sounds pathetic that way, but I don't know. If I could pull up more sources, actually, for abortion, I think mainly what we need to be focusing on is safe sexual education for the entire community, not only this abstinence-only bullshit that we were fed in high school. We should have safe sex, and say if a woman needs to get an abortion, and it has to come up via that. So, she tried being safe, and then it happened, and she wasn't ready for the child. She's financially unstable. She doesn't have, say, a spouse to care for the child as well. She can't get the fetus aborted, but now if she was willingly consented to have a child, and then wants to kill it for no circumstance, then the child's rights should become active in the last moment. But that's a tangent about abortion. The case about Ted Cruz is we thought we destroyed the centralists like myself thought we destroyed the religious right as they came out for they tried using YouTube as a space to project their ideas, and the religious right have been absolutely shat on, and now we cannot give, say, validation to the failure of the religious right movement in the form of Ted Cruz. Now, that's Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, and Bernie Sanders out of the way. Hillary Clinton. I do not want Hillary Clinton at all. She lies about everything, and her moral character can't be judged. Yes, I sound like Ted Cruz, moral character. But no, she can't be trusted. Honestly, she cannot be trusted with such with such power. So, as Secretary of State, she had the email scandal in the United States, which claimed one of their emails she willingly knew that overthrowing Gaddafi would destroy pretty much Libya and make it what it was today. But she went ahead and did it because she wanted the U.S. influence via that. She wanted U.S. influence in the region, and knowing this, and she still did that just with little to no. With little to no. Okay. She invaded Libya with little to no reason or little to no importance of doing such, just for U.S. involvement, which is, we shouldn't have gone into Libya at all. But the way she did it, via private emails, via a scandal, that destroyed pretty much a decent part of okay, Libya wasn't the greatest nation before, when Gaddafi was in reign. Once Gaddafi was overthrown, hello, a power vacuum, which pretty much led to the rise of more radical Islamic groups. So, and then there's a bunch of videos out there you can see all over YouTube where Hillary Clinton says that she was against gay marriage, she will never support gay marriage 5-10 years ago, when the polls change and show that, hey, people understand gay rights, homosexual rights, that she becomes, hey, I support gay rights, people. That's a terrible Hillary Clinton impersonation, but she says that she flip-flops on many issues, and another trait I have about Hillary Clinton is that she supports the social justice left, and the social justice left is so radical. Their ideas have no merit in reality. And say, for example, the 77 cents per dollar a man earns, that the social justice left keep pushing down the throats. Like, Obama made, in one of his State of the Union addresses, claim that we should have gender equality for equal pay. And the U.S. government does have a law, the Equal Pay Act of 1965. Is it 1965? I'm doing this off the cuff in pretty much a cubby with no sources at all. I'm just ranting out of my brain. So please, if anything I said is factually incorrect, please correct it in the comments below. Thanks. But the Equal Pay Act of 1965, I think it's 1965. So the Equal Pay Act allows, pretty much says it's illegal to pay women less for the same amount of work, and companies do know that, and so if it really was, which it isn't, the 77 cents per dollar has been proven wrong again and again and again and again. But if it was right, why hasn't a woman sued the company? She knows she would get a lot of money out of the lawsuit if the company was violating a U.S. law for discrimination. So the 77 cents per dollar myth has been proved wrong again and again. So that's the case against Hillary Clinton. She supports the social justice left that is on the rise at university campuses. I'm seeing it right now. That's why I'm kind of hiding from them and needed to get this off my chest. So that's Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Bernie Sanders, and Hillary Clinton. Now you're saying, hey, wait, there's one more candidate in the race called John Kasich. And for me, John Kasich's the best choice we have. He really is. There's no other way to say this. America needs something to steer the ship in the right direction for some way. And it looks like John Kasich has the best chance of doing such. For all right, I don't agree with some of his positions, especially on women's health, but his comments on the economy, his his foreign policy ideas are all sound. Say, for example, his comment about NATO, saying that the U.S. should the NATO should reform its job to become not just what it was in the 50s and 60s, but become an intel and not espionage. It should be an intelligence organization to help, and as well as the Muslim community should help each other. Should help the U.S. find religious fanatics, shut them down, pretty much. Yet again, as long as these people do have the right to free speech, but they should not be preaching hate speech against like a certain group. These people, the religious fanatics should be stopped. There should be intelligence operatives on the ground where to stop ISIS with its plots. Reforming NATO to do that is a step in the right direction. I'm not saying it's a complete goal, but it is a step in the right direction. Also, for the economy, he has claimed that he's made hundreds and thousands of jobs in the state of Ohio, and his numbers back him up. There was one report from RT America, I remember, saying that, John Kasich has these really low numbers in the areas that he says he does better. But when you look at it, John Kasich claims that he has improved the state of Ohio. He hasn't made it the best in the nation, because the best in the nation is good old Texas. No, I'm lying. I'm completely lying about the good old state of Texas. But John Kasich has improved the state of Ohio from being down in the dumps, one of the worst states in the nation, to have gradual improvement. The job creation rate is one of, not the best, but one of the top job creation rates in the country. He has balanced the federal budget when he was like committee chair or something like that. Please fact check all of this. I'm doing this so off the cuff. But when he was committee chair of some congressional thingy. Wow, I sound so uneducated about things right now. But I'm kind of nervous. It's just my first video per se on YouTube. But yeah, so John Kasich has balanced the budget, and yet again, you see the numbers, and it is true. He has balanced the federal budget. Yes, the U.S. are in crippling debt at this moment. Look at Greece. Greece were in crippling debt, and they fell off the deep end. The United States is in crippling debt, and crippling crippling debt, and that needs to be reformed. I think the person next door might be mad at me for recording this, so let's wait a little bit. No, nothing? Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm like literally hiding from people, and yeah, that shows you how bad free speech has gotten in the US. That I'm literally hiding to say all these things. Is he gone? I'm pretending I don't see him. Hello? I know I'm being really silly right now. Alright, so, Kasich. I thought it was going to continue, but this guy is being... I don't know if he is going to come in here. and disrupt this? Or what is this guy doing? Look at this dude. Hello. Okay. Coast is clear. Wow. Shows you the fear I have of being caught doing this thing. So, John Kasich. Honestly, he also, another thing, he destroys Hillary Clinton in the polls in the November election. And for me, the centralist, well, we don't need a Hillary Clinton in the White House. We do not need the radical social justice left to take over. The radical social justice left has taken over the university sphere, but we do not need it to take over government again. Well, I say again, we don't need them to have a stronger foothold in government to restrict our right to free speech, to propagate the bullshit that they produce, to propagate this racism that they claim is against them, whereas they're being racist to white people, to white men, to cis men, to able-bodied men. Well, they're not being racist, they're being all the isms to the privileged, air quotes around privileged group. So, yeah, we do not need Hillary Clinton in the White House in November. And John Kasich, 15 polls in a row, has shown that he can beat Hillary Clinton. And I just have noticed something. Holy shit. I am going to get in so much trouble for doing this. Because there is a space. Hello. Okay, I need to finish this up. So, for the people who are voting on Tuesday in Connecticut, Delaware, Rhode Island, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, I want you to think that as a centralist, all centralists, don't stay at home. We have the chance to fix the ship that is called America, but we need to do... Okay, that was weird. We need to get someone in the White House that will do the job, and that the person to do that job will be... It looks like at the moment John Kasich is the most central of the candidates. I know that is so... That shows you the state of affairs America is, that John Kasich is like the center of American politics, but he is at the moment. But as long as we can get someone that at least steadies the ship, we have a chance to go in the right direction. So, for all the people, I voted in Super Tuesday. My vote only counted for like 4.2%. But my message is, if you were really, really considering voting Donald Trump to have hopes in a better life, we've seen what radicals can do. Radicals can shake up the system. But the only way that radicals shake up the system is if the radical ideas make sense. Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders, Ted Cruz, and Hillary Clinton's radical ideas aren't the most sensible. They fall after very, very little scrutiny to ideas. Well, they fall under very, very little scrutiny at all. So, that's all I have got. I think that's all I have to say. See ya.